Steel City live here on Mike Drop Sports. Appreciate you all for popping in here. We're gonna go here a little bit earlier, 6:30 tonight, since there's no football for us, and we're just gonna roll with it a little early. That way, I'm not doing this at 9:30 at night. I hate doing it that late. It just makes me crazy. Again, welcome back. Make sure you hit the shit out of that like button for us. I truly, truly appreciate that as we get through the show. And we're going to talk a little Pittsburgh Steelers here as they will be doing some Friday night lights tonight. It already looked like it was getting to be a full house up there at Latrobe High School in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Just about 5-10 minutes down the road from St. Vincent's College is where they will be tonight. Again, at the high school, going after it, playing a little bit of a simulation type, scrimmage type game. You know, you're going to see some reps and shit like that in a more live action type setting there. So it's pretty cool. It's not like a full blown scrimmage or anything, but you'll see a lot of you'll see a little bit more in-depth play there. So that'll be cool to see for your Pittsburgh Steelers. What are we going to want to take out of that? What are you going to want to see out of that as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? I think there's a lot that you want to take away from this practice. I feel like this is one of the milestone practices of the camp, if you ask me. I do think you see a lot there. I think you see some things that maybe you want to look forward to for the season, look forward to for these upcoming preseason games. So we'll see how this all unfolds for them tonight. Hopefully they'll get out of there injury free. I think that's the biggest takeaway when you're going through some of this live action. So again, we'll see what happens. What's up, TD? What's up, Daniel Warman? What's up, Sean? Again, guys, we're going to dive in here as we talk a little Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just getting all my stuff here rebooted and brought up. I wanted to go again earlier because, man, I've just been hating those late nights. I can't wait for the schedule to get back down a little bit to where maybe, sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened there. Must have been getting a phone call. Even though I'm in do not disturb mode, I was still getting a phone call and it made my shit freeze. What's up, G Stacks? What's up, George T? Friday Night Lights, here we go. Absolutely, guys. I think it's going to be big, man. I think there's some keys that I'm really starting to take away from this football team is that George Pickens is the real deal. If he can keep his attitude under control, I think that he is going to take that next step as becoming the Pittsburgh Steelers leader inside of that wide receiver room. I think he is talented enough. I think he has the mental ability to be able to handle all of that. He just got to get his attitude just you know, under control a little bit, man. And I think you see at times him doing that, and then I think at times you see him revert back. I don't get so frustrated about the little outbursts, in the competitive nature type way. I just don't like the little just like I don't know how to describe it. Just that weird diva attitude. I don't like that kind of shit, and sometimes that glares through. I don't know, for lack of better words, how to really describe it. But again, he has the tools. He has the ability. He has that want to, I believe, to be that guy, that number one receiver in that room. And I think that you're going to see that continue to grow throughout this season. And I think you're going to see a special campaign from George Pickens. I really, really do. Another thing offensively, I think that could be a bright spot, and that is going to be Darnell Washington. I think that he can make some big moves this year and be something of a special tool for the Pittsburgh Steelers to utilize, especially from the 30-yard line in. I think that he is going to be that guy that can really just take over a football game inside of the 30 to the end zone area, man, to where he could just really be dominant and physical. I think that's another takeaway offensively. And honestly, guys, I'm telling you, I think Connor Hayward is going to be that guy. I do. I'm not saying that he goes and gets a gazillion catches, and has a bunch of yards, a bunch of touchdowns. I think Connor Hayward is going to be a guy that just comes up big in big moments. I really, really do. And I think that's especially going to lay at the feet of Arthur Smith, whether he's going to be able to figure out how to utilize Connor Hayward in that way. I really think that that's something exciting to look forward to. I think this is going to be a year that Connor Hayward may step out into carving himself a real role within the Pittsburgh Steelers, within the NFL in general, carving himself out a path to be really ultra successful once teams and once Arthur Smith, once they figure out exactly how to utilize him. So those are like my offensive takeaways. We know the quarterback situation. We'll let that continue to play out. Again, I think that's Russell Wilson. Again, Justin Fields forcing the hand. You got to give it to him a little bit. The offensive line, we know how that's going to continue to develop. So tonight could be a night that you see some of that stuff start to work its way out. Defensively, I think this team could be really, really good. Really, really, really good. I just like the speed of this defense. I like the energy of this defense. I like the way they're playing with that no-nonsense, hit-you-in-the-mouth type attitude. And you saw that so far through camp with the way they're super physical and the way that they, play a little bit crazy and a little bit not dirty. I'm not going to use the word dirty or anything, but just play a little bit rough, man. And I enjoy that. What's up, George T? G Stacks, Friday Night Lights. Tyrone, what up from Norfolk, Virginia? What's up, Tyrone? Your boy Connor Hayward. Yeah, man, I do love Connor, G. I really do. I'm excited to see him do some special things, man. You saw that catch. I put up a short about Connor making a catch. That was a real good catch and actually a really well-placed ball by Justin Fields. And I think that's one of Justin Fields' major deficiencies was his accuracy. But if you look at the coverage on that play, that particular sequence, and you look at how that coverage was, and you look at where the ball was placed, you look at the way Connor Hayward was able to get out there and get that ball, it couldn't have been put in any other place. It was going to be a difficult catch, no matter if it was placed perfectly or not. Which it was placed perfectly because it was just going to be a difficult catch. It was in a difficult situation in my eyes with the way the defenders were set up, and it had to be put there, and Connor Hayward went and got it. Connor Hayward understood where it had to be and what he was going to have to do in order to grab that reception, and Justin Fields understood that, and I think that, again, that was one of Justin Fields' major deficiencies, unable to throw people open, unable to be highly accurate, even though it may look like, hey, Connor went out there and made that great catch. It had to be like that on both sides, and it wasn't an inaccurate throw. It was actually a spot-on throw. So you're intrigued and you're excited, in my eyes, at least I am, to see those guys continue to grow because that's exactly what you're looking for when you have those types of plays, those types of sequences. Roberta, I think you have more faith in Pickens more than me. He currently has me thinking of a less talented AB with as big of an ego. I hope I'm wrong. I think the talent-wise, the ego I can't comment on, Roberta, because we're going to still see how that develops for him. Is he able to grow out of it? Is he able to continue to get better and maybe just settle down in that area a little bit? As far as talent-wise, George Pickens is a totally different receiver than AB. AB relied on speed, speed, crisp, clean routes. AB relied on a little bit of a different skill set than what George Pickens is utilizing to do the things that he does. George Pickens is a very tall, lanky type guy. He's able to get away with a little bit more because of his catch radius, which is absolutely unreal. It's hard to overthrow or hard to put an inaccurate ball on George Pickens because he can do it from all over the place, man. He can move and get to the ball. He has a real ability to do those types of things of adjusting to the ball in the air and all that kind of shit. So I think they're just attacking it with a little bit of a two different ways. The way that AB had to play as opposed to where George has to play. Because again, George is a little bit taller. He can do some of those things of going up over top of guys that maybe AB couldn't have done because he was more of a shorter guy to where he had to blow by you, beat you with more crisp, fluid routes. George is a more 50-50 type ball guy. Those types of things. Again, I think it's a little bit different, and I think George Pickens can be a number one in this league. Again, the attitude does play a big role into it, but you have to see and give the guy the opportunity to continue to try to work that out, and hopefully it does, because that only means good things for the Steelers. Tyrone Johnson, shout out to Route God for getting Pickens ready. Johnson killing it in Carolina, too. I haven't paid a lick of attention to Carolina and Deontay Johnson other than I saw him drop a few balls. So other than that, I didn't see anything. So if he is, congratulations to him. Hopefully he has success down there. But I think GP going to the route God, going and doing those types of things over the offseason will pay off, no doubt about it. And I hope to continue to see his routes get better and his route tree increase during game day, man. That's what we're looking for, no doubt about it. All right, guys, make sure we're hitting the shit out of that like button here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we are here with our daily live stream, talking Steelers, talking NFL football. And again, Friday Night Lights, guys. Friday Night Lights. That's where they'll be tonight. Roberta, I have faith in Connor. The only thing I didn't like about Connor, and I just remembered this, is I've seen him a couple times here get the ball jarred loose. Now, that's something he's going to have to take care of and clean up here during camp. You can't afford to have that during the game, and you've seen it 2 or 3 times of him putting the ball on the ground after it being ripped out of his arms or his hands. So definitely that's something that he cannot have happen when we get to regular season action. Hopefully that works itself out here during camp. But otherwise, I think that Connor Hayward has a skill set, guys, and an untapped potential so far here in the NFL that when they do finally figure it out and Arthur Smith finally gets him involved, hopefully this happens, I think it's going to be something very, very dangerous to opposing defenses. I really, really do. And when you talk about this team having a lack of a number 2 wide receiver, supposedly, and you may be worried about the depth of that wide receiver room, the tight ends, guys like Connor Hayward may be coming in and playing an H-back type role, the receiving ability of the running backs, and those types of things become so important, man. So important. Are you all concerned about Zach Frazier? That's from G Stacks. I am not one bit concerned about Zach Frazier. I think Zach Frazier will be the starter. I think Zach Frazier eventually becomes that guy, no doubt about it. And I think he eventually becomes pretty damn good and is a Steeler for a long time. That's just my prediction. Will it happen? We don't know. We'll see. But again, I think that Zach Frazier is going to really shine here as camp continues to move forward, as preseason continues to move forward, to where the Steelers, I think, will be comfortable with Zach Frazier being the starter. Nate Herbig is having a good camp, too. Nate's not, failing in any way. I think that he's doing some good things, so we'll see what happens there. But I think Zach Frazier will definitely be that guy, and I'm not concerned in the least bit. George T. Gifted 5 Mike Drop Sports memberships. Thank you, George T. I appreciate that very much. And guys, if you want to accept those gifts, you have to have your gifts thing turned on. I'm trying to find it right now so you can do it here in the chat. Let me see how to do it, guys. I can't remember exactly how to do it. There's some way in your chat that you can accept gifts. Yeah, there you go. I see you guys accepting them. All right, thank you again to George, guys, and make sure if you were one of the people that got one of those gifted memberships from George to make sure that you say thank you. Appreciate it. Brian Hanford gifted 5 Mike Drop Sports memberships. Thank you, Brian, so very much. You guys are absolutely awesome. I appreciate that. Also, guys, if you accept that gift from Brian, make sure that you guys thank them very, very much for that. I appreciate it so, so very much. And as always, that puts you into our giveaway drawings, which will be coming up on the 9th. That's next week. And then also you will be getting exclusive things like the emojis and the badges, of course, but you will be getting members only live streams and members only shows here during the season. So make sure that you guys thank him for that. I appreciate it. Brian, I made it up to camp, and 2 things stuck out to me. 1, Justin Fields looked as good as Russell Wilson, and 2, Peyton Wilson is the real deal. He and Queen are going to be beasts. I have to say, all those assessments that you had, Brian, I found to be pretty much the same too. Yeah, Justin definitely has been improving. And if you've listened to me for a long time, even from when Justin got picked up by the Steelers, I've been a harsh critic of Justin Fields, but I have to give him a little bit of credit here. I'm not saying he is anywhere near where he has to be because I don't believe that to be true just yet. I think he's still a work in progress, but I got to hand it to him. He's came to work every day. He has steadily improved each practice, I've felt like. And I think that that's all you can ask for from him, guys. And he's hitting big plays when he can. He's not forcing the ball. You look at some of these other younger quarterbacks that are in, all around the league, and you're seeing the training camp highlights. They're on 5 to 8 interceptions already during their camp periods. You watch the highlights and you see them forcing the football, and you've seen Justin Fields do those things in the past. But I think really he seems a little bit more comfortable here. And I think that he realizes this is one of his last chances probably in terms of becoming that just guy right away, with the franchise. And this is going to be one of those last couple chances. When you don't succeed in the NFL, they give you a few, and then, you get relegated to the backup role for life, and you have to wait for a injury or chance that way or something. But I think Justin Fields realizes the situation, understands the moment, understands what's going on, and he continually is getting better, and I have to applaud him for that. Welcome to all the Mafia members, though, from those gifted memberships, guys. Also, I appreciate it so very much. Brian Hanford, if Peyton Wilson or Patrick Queen go down for injury, who is next up? How much drop-off will we see? I think you would see a tremendous drop-off. That's going to be something that I wanted to bring up here, Brian. That's a good thing. And when you were talking about the linebackers, that was next in my mind here. You saw the Steelers restructure Cole Holcomb's contract today or yesterday, one of the two. And that should tell you something about the Pittsburgh Steelers and maybe where they're looking at Cole. Maybe they're thinking Cole might get back on that PUP list. I'm not sure. I don't know. But the way they restructured it and the way that they redid this deal would alleviate cap space if they were to put him on that list. That would alleviate a few $1 million from Cole Holcomb's contract in terms of counting against the cap, which would free up some money. So that does hurt. To maybe think a little bit inside there to where you're thinking, man, maybe that's the case. Now, I don't want to see that happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But when you're talking about the depth and things of that nature, you're looking at guys like Tyler Medikevich. I think there was an injury to Chiron. The depth is going to be sketch, bro. Definitely. Definitely. And I don't want to scare people off because I don't think it's just going to, implode all of a sudden. You have Landon Roberts, but after, Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, Landon Roberts, you're looking at E-Rob, you're looking at Johnson, you're looking at Tyler Medikevich, you're looking at those types of guys, and I think that it would hurt a little bit, and I think it would be a significant drop-off in terms of what you have there in the first few guys, because honestly, You don't find that type of speed that you find with Peyton Wilson. You don't find the type of caliber guys like Patrick Queen are at the linebacker position just anywhere off the trash heap. That's why they went out there and they paid big money in free agency to bring Patrick Queen in. That's why they spent a draft pick of decent value on Peyton Wilson. They were just lucky enough for him to fall down the draft board due to injury concerns. The guy hasn't been injured in 3 years or so. But teams were scared off from it. So yeah, there will be a significant drop off, no doubt about it. It makes you wonder though about Cole Holcomb, guys. That's in my head here. G Stacks AB had a Hall of Fame quarterback. That helps too, G. that helps in a big way. Brian asks, Mike Drop Mafia in the house. Come on, peeps. Support the channel. Jason works his ass off. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Brian. I appreciate you guys in your support very, very much. Kathy, George's routes are trash. I wouldn't call them trash, man. I watch a lot of football and I watch a lot of highlights and I watch a lot of these guys do these routes over and over and over again. And I'm not sure if you could refer to George Pickens' routes. The way he runs routes is trash. I can't get on board with that. Sorry. I think you're looking at something maybe. I don't know what you're looking at, to be honest with you. I don't think his routes are trash. Do I think he's some premier route runner? No, I'm not saying that. But I think that his routes are far from trash. We can say that. Fat Cat, let's go Steelers. John Peel was gifted a membership. Steelers Nation Australia. Russell Barton, Big Tone of God. We watched Arthur for a while in Atlanta. It's nothing about him. It's nothing about him is dangerous. That's not what I'm referring to as Arthur Smith being dangerous. When I'm talking about dangerous parts of the offense, I'm talking about Connor Hayward getting that role carved out for him that would be dangerous to opposing defenses in terms of mismatches, in terms of being able to match up well against him enough to be able to guard him to where he's not beating you on these routes that you're starting to see him run, the role that he's starting to carve out for himself. I think he would be a dangerous mismatch problem for opposing defenses, especially when you're willing George Pickens out there. The run game could have significant high value to it to where people, would be in fear of that a little bit. Then you start to load up in the box. You start to create heavier packages on the defense, perhaps. You're trying to match up against guys like Connor Hayward. It just trickles down. And definitely, I think Connor Hayward can be very, very dangerous. Do I think Arthur Smith is going to be some risky guy? No, I don't. I think he's going to rely on the run game. I think he's going to build that offense up into a rough and tumble, high energy run game type offense to where they dictate the time of possession. I think that you'll see that. But I think you're going to see some wrinkles that you haven't seen from him in the past, too. I definitely think that. I think you're going to see some new stuff. And you've heard that out of Arthur Smith's mouth. You can't remain the same every year and expect to keep a job in the NFL because the league passes you right by. Just because something works, 1 year doesn't mean it'll work the next. And just because, you want to be a running team, and that's your identity, that's fine. You can have those identities. You can be known for that. But you still have to create different eccentric wrinkles every year. And Arthur said that, and I find that he is going to do that for sure. What's up, Fly Boy? He got a membership. CF18 got a membership. Big Tone of God. You don't know football, sir. Arthur is trash. Very bad hire. I don't know. I could bring you on here and I could challenge you to a debate about football if you like. I'm down for that if you'd like to. Email me at MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. We can debate football and see what you know and what you don't. I'm not going to sit here and argue that with you. You can turn the channel, bro. Welcome to all the new members, man. I love to see that. Brian Hanford, yeah, thanks, George. Didn't know we could do that. Yeah, I didn't know either. Yeah, let's go. Let's hit that 5K. Yes, absolutely, guys. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Also, I'd appreciate it truly. And make sure you're hitting the shit out of that like button for us here while we're on our live stream. I definitely appreciate that too. Jonathan Stevens, we are in here daily. The season is here. Almost here. We can smell it. Absolutely. Sleeper Sports Media, what's up, man? I just sent you an email. I didn't realize you had gone live. Hello, I had been listening to the streams every morning on the way to work. Oh, awesome, man. Thank you. We're going to get you on too, man, and talk some football, man. Yeah, I'll talk to you in your email, though. Thank you, man. And yeah, welcome to the Mafia. David Henneke, did you watch the Houston Texans and Chicago Bears last night? I watched a little bit of it. By the time we got off the live stream, it was the rain delay and they canceled the game due to lightning. So I didn't get to see a lot of it. I do want to ask what you guys thought about that, the kickoffs. I thought they were kind of cool. That's just me. I thought they were pretty cool. But again, I think I need to see it a little bit more. What's up, Danny George, Donald Miller, welcome to the Mafia. Oscar, what's up? What's up, Justin Meneke? Tyrone Johnson, what is Austin looking like? I think you look at Calvin Austin and you say to yourself, he's slow and steady to the race here this year during camp, in my opinion. Has he wowed everybody? Has he been a monster headline? No. But camp is still young, and you're going to see a lot more preseason games, and I think Calvin Austin will be just fine. I think you've heard about his work ethic this offseason and the way he's approached this 2024 offseason specifically. And I think that we can really count on him this year. I think we're going to be able to, just because I love the work he's putting in, and I love the intangibles that he brings. And I really think that you're going to catch a lot of offense or a lot of defenses by surprise with that Calvin Austin speed this year, especially if you're going to be able to draw them up with that tight end play and that run game. And you incorporate a real speedster like a Calvin Austin. I think that can be dangerous for sure. Dangerous though. Nothing's dangerous about Arthur Smith. I think Connor is going to show out this year. Me too, sheep. Wave those towels. Appreciate it. First time I have ever joined a YouTube channel membership. Love this feature. Awesome, man. Well, welcome. Let's go. 757. Brian Hanford, bro, you don't want to debate Jason Rundog. Oh, thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. Oscar, Jason knows football, and I'm not just saying that to be nice. If he didn't, I wouldn't call it as I see it. Dude is on. Thank you. Appreciate you, Oscar. Justin liked the new kickoffs. I thought I liked them too, and I think it adds a dead play back to the game. Now, one thing I don't like about it, guys, and this is a shitty part of this, and that is the onside kick has been relegated, man. It's gone, basically. Unless you are a team that is behind in the fourth quarter and you go and announce it to the referee that you are attempting an onside kick, you're taking all the surprise out of it. You won't see that, second quarter, we're down 2 scores quick. And I'm a team now that, our third quarter, we're a team that's down a few scores or 2 scores quickly in the game. You come out at halftime and you kick that surprise onside kick. You're not going to see those types of things anymore. You're not going to see a team that's battling back just kick a surprise onside kick anymore. You're not going to see those things, which I think is an important part of the game, and I hope that they're going to be able to figure out how to reincorporate that back into the game, because I think that's I think that's something that has to be in there. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a purist with that kind of stuff. I don't want to see some of the things that we've come to expect from the game to go away. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, but continue to watch it grow. This play is definitely something that's been put in for 1 year, and we'll have to see how the league takes it and runs with it. But I liked it so far, but I think there are elements that have to be fixed. Daniel Warman, Vontaze Burfict took out, and Juju Schuster even got even for sure. Oh yeah, when he took out AB, yeah, Juju did rock his ass, bro. I don't like Vontaze Burfict, I think Vontaze Burfict, and the way he behaved throughout his time in the league, I don't know. I never have been a fan of Vontaze. Derpy Entertainment, new kickoff. It's cool, but it's just not the same. Got to get used to it more. Yeah, and I've heard a lot too, Derpy, about people just saying, it just looks weird. It just looks off, and that brings you back to that football purist, to where you're like, it looks so different, and I got to agree about that too. It does look off. It does give you a weird vibe. It's definitely something we're going to have to get used to, Sheep 86, from what you've seen and heard. Do you think we have a team that can actually compete now? I got to say, I think that answer is yes. Now, am I sitting here guaranteeing the fan base that this team is going to reach new heights here in 2024, things they haven't done in a decade? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that there is a hope that I think that this roster is a quality enough roster, has a good enough defense, has potentially a good enough offense to do those things, to get through a playoff win or so, to be competitive, to be involved in the conversation throughout the season. This season's going to be rough. It's going to be difficult. The schedule proves to be tough. But I definitely think that this team has a chance as it sits right now with what I'm seeing. And it's not just all about the X's and O's, too. It's a little bit about the fire I see in these guys, the way they're approaching each day, the way they're coming out being fired up for each other, the way they're handling each other, throughout the questioning and media the media scrums, and they're talking about their teammates. They seem to have each other's back. They seem to have that fire, that intangible that teams need in order to be successful that aren't part of the X's and O's. All right, guys, we're 30 minutes in. Let's make sure we hit the shit out of that like button again. Thank you to you guys that donated, George and Brian, that donated gifted memberships to the Mic Drop Mafia, and I welcome all 10 of you to the Mic Drop Mafia. I appreciate it so very much. Again, make sure you're hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe, and I'd appreciate it from all of you guys if we would share the content to help spread the word of the channel as we continue to march through this off season, heading toward the regular season. I really want to be hitting that 5,000 subscriber mark around the start of the regular season. So if you guys could do that, I'd be so appreciative. Let's get back to the chat. Oscar, I don't follow many Steelers forums because they let their biased goggles dictate what they say. Jason keeps it. Thank you, man. I try very much to do that, man. I really do. I try. It's tough sometimes. Daniel Warren and Antonio Brown. It's okay, buddy. I got you. Sean, yeah, I don't like the new rules for the onside kick. Yeah, it's tough to get on board with that. That's one part of the game I'm definitely missing. Oscar, remember when Boswell tried that weird onside kick and failed miserably? Yeah, the Steelers don't do too many fake kicks in any way. I thought that was something that they missed with Presley Harvin, the opportunity to do that because he was a bigger body guy and could throw a little bit. But yeah, he sucks so bad at punting that they probably are like, shit, we can't add any more to this guy's plate because he can't even punt the ball. So, shit. Brian, signing Patterson seemed like a move based just on the new kickoff rules. That said, is he going to be ready? I'm starting to wonder that, and yeah, he's got to be out there before we can really give him any type of true evaluation. But I think you're right; it was a move solely based on the new kickoff return rules. I think Calvin Austin will be that guy back there. I think you're going to see a lot of Jaylen Warren, be honest with you, back there. I think that it's now going to be treated a little bit different, guys, with the kickoffs, because you can almost utilize it in a play sense, and like you're running a play, you can have different blocking schemes and things to set these guys up and to spring some of these guys for big gains. I really am intrigued to see a guy like Calvin Austin back there to be able to be a quick hitter, man, and really explode through one of those gaps, because I think he's going to be difficult to get down in those situations because of his speed. I think he is going to really shine this year in that kickoff role. I really, or kickoff return role. I think so anyway. I don't know if he's going to be ready though, Brian. I'm wondering, man. Matt Barton or Matt Burton. I would have liked Burfict if he was on the Steelers. Yeah, probably. All right, TD with the emojis. Love it. Derby Entertainment. I think we have a team that can compete. Rather it be Russ or Fields at the helm. I'm more on the Fields side, but the talent is there regardless. I think you're right, and I'm not sure about Justin just yet, man. The jury's still out on him for me. I still have to see a little bit more from him. I have to continue to see some of that growth, and I got to see the processing stuff during the preseason games, the throwing people open, the anticipation. Maybe a little bit of those happy feet being gone, that run first mentality maybe reeled back a little bit, and try to become that more complete NFL quarterback. That's what I'm looking for out of Justin. Can he do it? I sure to hell hope so. Just not a fan of Cam Hayward contract and Highsmith. Yeah, they're in a tough spot. Cam will get to finish out that deal. I do think you're going to see Cam, though, get signed before the end of training camp here, before the season starts. Highsmith already got his deal restructured, so that alleviated some cap space. So we'll see. I'm not really, I'm not too bad with Highsmith's contract. I think Cam's a little bit overpaid right now for his last year. But hey, he's earned it over his time as a Steeler. But he hasn't reached the mountaintop. He hasn't got to chase that Lombardi Trophy just yet. So that's one big thing missing from his resume. And I think maybe he needs to realize that in his advanced age as a football player, young in life, but as an advanced age as a football player, I think he needs to realize that maybe he needs to reel it back just a little bit in terms of what he's expecting contract wise, because he doesn't have a Super Bowl. He doesn't have a Lombardi Trophy. So you want to chase that. Help your team out just a little bit. You're a very wealthy man. You're a very rich man. I think you're okay with maybe cutting a couple mil off of your contract in order to help spread that around to bring in other players. I don't know. I just find sometimes that to be the case for some of these older players that think that they, should get the whole bag. Maybe break that bag up a little bit. Try to bring in some help and fight for what's important. Chasing trophies. Brian Hamford, bro, they will reach new heights. See it, be it. Steelers going to win a playoff game. Got to believe Steel City. Hey, man, I think they can win a playoff game too. I hope so. Matt Burton, our defense will keep us in a lot of games. If the O can be decent, we have a chance. Yeah, and sadly in today's NFL, it's harder and harder to continue to lean on a defense to keep you afloat throughout the season. You saw that for the Steelers last year. You get wore down, man, and it's tough, and it's just, you can't go out there and win a Super Bowl off of defense alone anymore. Now you can stay in a lot of games because of your defense, but you still have to be able to score some points, guys. You have to be able to average over 24 points a game or around 24 points a game, in my opinion. I think that's where you have to be successful in the NFL. Sean says, how will Fields do under game time pressure? The guy has a history of fumbling the ball. I'm not sold yet, guys. I'm not sold yet either on that, Sean. Again, we have to see more development, and he has fumble issues. He has turnover issues. Again, that's not a good thing. We haven't seen it a ton at Latrobe, so that's good. But again, he's not getting hit. And we have to be really cautious here, guys, as we tread the waters around this quarterback position, because you got to realize these guys know there's no chance of getting hit. They're not getting a finger laid on them. Not at all. Now, when he runs the ball, he got a chance to get hit. But when he's in that pocket and he's back there passing, those guys aren't allowed to hit him, man. They're not allowed to touch him. So it's a lot easier to be comfortable back there. It's a lot easier to lose those happy feet. a little bit during training camp when you know you don't have to worry about being hit in the pocket. It's a lot easier to stand in there and process and go through the reads. Uh, yeah, you feel a little bit more comfortable. Now, however, you need to also count in your head. Have like a little mental clock of, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. 4, 1,000, you're pushing it, bro. And if he's getting rid of the ball probably at 4, 1,000, you probably got to think that he'd have been sacked by then. You got to have those types of internal clocks when you're watching these practices and you're seeing what he can do, because if you have all day back there to complete balls, a lot of people can do that. And the fumbles, man, that is a concern. Yes, he does. It keeps it real. Thank you, Brian. Derpy, I don't like how soft the game has gotten, but it really is what it is at this point. Absolutely. And I do think the game has gotten soft. And the NFL should always maintain that aggressive nature, in my opinion. I think once you officially lose that, I think you're going to lose a lot of the fan base. I really do. I just feel like football at its purest state is physical. And if you're not into that physicality, maybe you should pick a different sport. I hear, baseball and stuff's fun to play. Go play it, Football ain't for everybody, but it is what it is. You got to keep that physicality in the game, man. It worries me that they can keep taking more and more of the physicality out. I think Calvin is going to have a breakout year. I would have liked it. Roberto believe if he was with the Steelers either. Yeah, I wouldn't have liked. Yeah, who knows about perfect, man. But I think Calvin will have a breakout year too, Roberta. G Stacks, Cam never won DPOY. No, never won DPOY either. But he has never won the important thing. That's a Lombardi. Derpy. I feel like the Steelers being okay with flexing the rings lately has softened the organization. This generation is disrespectful to this franchise. Here's my thing about flexing the rings right now. Yeah, it's cool to flex them, but this generation of player, you got to go get one first before you can run the jib about Lombardis, You got to go get one, baby. You got to get one. You got to be part of one. Daniel Warman, I sure miss Joe Flacco with the Ravens and Browns. I had no clue that Wilson is from Cincinnati. Russell Wilson, I think he is from Cincinnati. I think he is. Ben had issues too. Ben had issues, no doubt about it. Absolutely had issues. Many. Many, many, many. He wasn't a complete quarterback either. Hall of Fame caliber guy, no doubt about it, but he had definite deficiencies, man. Brian says, this dude's amazing. How the hell did you get perfect? I just know what we were talking about. That's all, Brian. I understood it, though. Sometimes when we all type, especially on the phones, it's like I've learned to decipher. Russell Wilson is from Richmond, Virginia. Oh, okay. Thanks, G. I didn't know that. I was guessing. I thought somebody said he was from Cincy. I didn't know that. Thank you, brother. Epic Expedition Sean, yeah, Ben was also an issue for any defense. Yeah, he was. He's hard to bring down in his heyday. Ben had his issues, man. He did force the ball sometimes. He got himself in trouble sometimes, definitely. But he had some really good points that won championships, So that's all you can ask for. It was a different league, Derpy. Absolutely. You're looking at a league back then that, they were running a lot of I formations, different things of that nature. You don't see that as much now. Mostly everything's out of like a single setback, no fullback, spread offenses 99% of the time. It's definitely a different league. You were allowed to hit people back then. People weren't crying about injuries and shit, all the time. I get tired of the soft society in which we live sometimes. It gets old. I'm just messing. Join the channel, Roberta. Good stuff. Cheap. 99 cents forever. Yeah, no doubt. Everybody has some issues. The things is, if the issues outweigh the positives, which Ben had more positive than negative. Yeah, absolutely. And that's all these players. Absolutely, Roberta. You're weighing what they bring as opposed to, the negative things that they bring. What positive things do they bring? Does that outweigh, the negative. And that's the question you ask yourself with every single player, because none of them are perfect. They all have quirks, they all have issues within their game. So you definitely have to be mindful of that. And that is the biggest question you have to ask yourself, on top of another huge question is the attitude, the person. You have to really identify what kind of person you're bringing into that building. Derpy Entertainment 45 was such a fluke of Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl 45. Wasn't that the one we lost? Yeah, Green Bay. What are your thoughts on the hip drop rules? How are you teaching your kids? I don't really have an issue with it right now, because I'm just trying to teach the kids, really, Brian, right now. Stay low. I created a get low prop. It's kind of junky, but I built it out of what I had. A prop in which there's like a board, and it's mounted to teach you how to stay low. And I use that initially for the offensive linemen, to try to teach them to fire off the ball, to stay low and create that leverage. That's what you're looking for whenever you hear this all the time. Stay low, get low, low man wins. What are you trying to do? You're trying to create leverage. Okay? So I made that, but I've been using it a lot lately. The other guy that coaches with me, we share the coaching of our part of the team. We started using it for tackling drill, like tackling a dummy, and it's teaching the kids to bend down and get low and start to wrap and get low and hit. And definitely we're teaching them that, and it seems to be working. Now, I haven't got to the point of the hip drop shit, because I don't see it a lot with the kids. Yeah, they kind of like pull each other down. It's not more of a jumping in the air and dropping yourself like a true hip drop. So they don't really do that from what I've seen. But I will say, teaching them to get lower, it has really benefited in the late part of the practice, when we do some other, like, Oklahoma drills, and we simulate, a running. Well, we don't simulate it. We'll put a running back in the backfield, that they have to go to a designated hole with a linebacker, and the quarterback hands the ball off. They have to go to that hole. The linebacker has to float, stay on their toes, keep their head up, fill that gap, fill that hole, and stick and make a tackle. I've definitely noticed the kids tackling way better since we've incorporated the prop, trying to get them lower. Remember the heads up campaign? Similar, yeah. Heads up. Oh yeah, where you had to, yeah, no doubt. I teach my kids, put that face mask on the ball, baby. Let's get that ball loose. Derpy Entertainment Rogers has been choke artist since then, and seeing him on the Jets just makes me laugh. Yeah, he's a different character. He's been one of the league's best, no doubt about it. I can't argue his statistics, but I've never been a big, huge Aaron Rodgers fan. He just got a weird attitude. Regis Anderson, we just need a QB to be as error-free as he is, or as to win. Russ, I think, gives us the best chance to win. Regis, you're spot on. That has to be the major focus of this football team. Safe play, at least to start the season, because guess what, guys? You cannot afford to start slow. The back half's too tough to start slow. You can't dig yourself into a hole at the beginning of the season and expect to dig yourself out of that rut. It's not going to be as easy this year to do that. You have to make sure that you have a decent record heading into the back half of the season. You can't afford a real 3-4 game skid, because that's just going to crush you, man. And that might be the beginning of the end. But we'll see how it goes. But steady play. And some of the fans, though, here, some of the Steelers fans are really starting to get a little bit maybe frustrated with that safe style play, though. I will say that. And I've heard a lot of fans say they don't want to just be average. They don't want to just play it safe. They want to go out there and have a guy that has potential to really light the NFL on fire. And I think maybe that's why a lot of fans try to lean a little bit more toward a Justin Fields era of Steeler football, to create that more to create that dynamic of splash plays on a more consistent basis. I think that's what some of the fan base is looking for, that type of quarterback. So, I think it's a mixed bag right now. In my opinion, I like to play it safe a lot of times. but have a quarterback also that does have potential to throw a big one. And I think Russell can do that still. So I think the safe bet is Russell Wilson, no doubt about it. And I think he would create the least amount of errors for the Steelers team. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting the shit out of that like button for us. I'd appreciate it. Share the show. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at Mike Drop Sports as we come at you daily, every weekday with a daily live stream. Also, we're going to get back on our grind here. We usually have a morning upload. I've been slacking on my work there a little bit. But again, guys, if I'm not confident in what I want to talk about, I don't want to just make clickbait. So I'd rather just not put a show out. So yeah, we'll be back to the 5 days a week. So for the morning upload, but man, I try to be really cautious about that. Russ can't even stay on the practice field. He doesn't even know the offense yet. I could say this, Derpy, and I'll say this with 1,000% confidence that he knows this entire offense inside and out, at least as well as everybody else that's out there on this field. He's a pro. He's taking mental reps. He's out there. He's in the study rooms. He's in the meeting rooms. I could be confident that he could come in tomorrow and run this offense to the same efficiency in terms of intellectually as Justin Fields, no doubt about that. I have no worries about a double-digit year veteran, that's won a Super Bowl, that's played in a couple Super Bowls. I have no doubt that he knows this offensive system. Now, as far as staying healthy, I think they've been a little bit more overly cautious with this injury, just not to turn it into something that you've seen other teams deal with. A lot of guys get a little bit fearful when older players have that calf injury, as, maybe an Achilles injury or something's going to happen next. But, I think the Steelers have just been overly protective of Russell Wilson in this situation, and they realize also that this benefits this football team in a big way, to where Justin Fields is getting those first team reps and allowing the Steelers to get a good look at him before they go out and figure out whether they want to give him a contract extension and offer to remain a Pittsburgh Steeler. They need to be able to see as many reps of Justin Fields as do they need to see as many reps of Russell Wilson as humanly possible, because the Steelers find themselves at a crossroad. Do you go with Justin Fields, the young guy, or do you try to squeak out a couple more years of Russell Wilson's career to hopefully lead you to the promised land? They have some major decisions to make. So, again, we'll see how it goes, but I think he'll be okay, Derpy. Sean, I still wish the Steelers could have signed Baker Mayfield. I like Baker, man. I think he'd be all right. He got that dog in him. He is a fighter, no doubt about it. Brian says, would Polamalu have been as successful with the new hip drop rules? Just saying players are going to need to adjust. I don't think that would have mattered in a guy like Troy's career at all. I don't even know how much it's going to matter this season, because I haven't got to see a real full year of this hip drop stuff, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, man. I think it's going to bite some teams in the ass, late in the game, getting a personal foul for a hip drop tackle. I think that's going to happen. You're going to see that for sure. But we'll have to see how it all unfolds, man. I definitely think that it could cause some issues, but it's just one of those things. You have to watch it continually start to play out. What's up, Wander? Appreciate it. Derpy Entertainment. I don't think Baker would have helped or made a difference. I think just Baker's an ultimate competitor. He really is. And with what he has done down in Tampa, I got to applaud him. I think the Browns made the wrong move by bringing a guy like Deshaun Watson in, who's 90% of the time in a sweatsuit. And if he's not in a sweatsuit, he's in a courtroom being accused of being a pervert. Look at Deshaun Watson's record against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a big goose egg against the Steelers. In my eyes, I think the Browns were onto something. They were in the playoffs. They were doing things with Baker Mayfield. They were building the team. I think they made the wrong choice. But that's just my opinion. I may be wrong. It is what it is. Roberta Campbell, I agree. The fee is low, but I have had identity. Yeah, don't do it don't do it, Roberta. If you don't want to. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Regis Anderson, we have a tough back half, got to win early. Yes, we do, Regis. Derpy Entertainment, I feel like Fields is the guy of the future, but that's just me. But like I said, rather it be Russ or Fields, the team is talented enough to compete. I'm good. I'm going to say I'll just be 1000% truthful. I think exactly how this should go, in my opinion, is I think Rush has to start the season. And I only say that because I think he provides a stable environment for this offense to grow. And if something happens to where Russ isn't playing well or Russ gets a little bit of an injury, you have Justin Fields to throw in there, and then it's like rolling the dice just to see what happens. So I think you get the best of both worlds if you take that approach. That's just how I'm thinking about it. Ty BD35 question: which do you see in as our future quarterback one, Russ or Justin? I mean, if I'm going to have to say who would I think the future would be, I would have to go with a younger guy, and that would have to be Justin Fields. But I'm not sold that it's either one of them right now. So I think that there is major question marks, no doubt, about the quarterback position. And I think the Steelers are right now at this crossroads to where they're just going to have to ride with it and see how this year goes. And they're going to have to pay up at the end of the season if they find out that one of those guys played well enough and did enough in order to deserve a payday. I think that that's how they're going to attack it, and that's how they're going to have to attack it. You look at the Steelers next season and what they're going to have available to them in terms of cap space, and I'm comfortable with them having that approach, that game plan. I'm not worried about overdoing it right now and making a move to sign one of those guys to a long-term deal when you may overpay for somebody that doesn't perform up to that contract. You just don't know. I'm okay with taking the approach that they're taking, I think, right now. Which I'll say Justin, though. Derpy. Russ is old as dirt. I'd sign him to a vet minimum. Justin is the future, but that's me. He's not old as dirt. You saw other players play up in their 40s. You know what I mean? You see there's quarterbacks now in this league that are in their 40s. So, you've seen that over and over now, how the health of players is they're able to hang on a lot longer. But definitely he's not old as dirt. I would say, you could get at least a couple more years out of him. But again, he's older, so that is the truth. But what do you want to do? If I'm going to sign anybody long term to multiple years, I think it has to be a younger guy. That's just me. Yeah, if I'm dealing with Russ, maybe it's a year-to-year type thing, We don't know. We don't know. And guys, we cannot sit here and crown Justin Fields just yet. We don't know enough about him, and what he put on tape in Chicago wouldn't make me want to crown him, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Again, I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well. I'm hoping both guys do well because guess what? That benefits the Steelers. Too many rules going to be impossible to tackle a player unless you trip them. Yeah, I'm getting to that point too, Matt, honestly. They got to quiet down some of her slow down on putting so many rules in. You are right. There gets to be a point that there ain't going to be any way to tackle someone. And the minute the NFL becomes flag football, I got to tell you guys, this channel will be gone because I ain't never covering the NFL again. Flag football would be something that I am so not interested in. Brian Hanford, Derpy. Oh, he's talking to Derpy. Austin, I have Russell Wilson autographed. Awesome, man. We do too. We just got it on the ball the other day at camp. My son got it. JT Fields is going to be the guy. Mark my words. You never know, man. Derpy, we could do terrible draft. Quinn Ewers. TB, you end up like... I'm not sure what that meant. Derpy, but I believe the Fields in my heart is the future. Sean, for real, Jason, don't take the bait just yet. Remember KP? I'm definitely not taking any bait, man. No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm not taking any bait. That's why I said we haven't seen enough of anybody. And again, guys, preseason isn't just going to be the end-all, be-all either. You're going to have to see how these guys actually perform with real competition when you're playing ones, man. Yeah, it will be, Danny. If you live in the local market, it won't be on national TV or anything. which you are in Clarksburg, right? You should be local market. I would be pretty confident of that. I will be at practice tomorrow, so we'll see. Yeah, I might be there too, Derpy, actually. I have the tickets already downloaded. I just don't know if I want to go. Robert, if the NFL gets any softer, we can always watch women's rugby. Those women are badass. Yeah, as long as it's not the Olympics. I refuse to watch any of the Olympics. I think it's trash. Um, Derpy, Danny, I'll be at the game. It's my first game. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Is it at home? I think it will be. Who are they playing in their first preseason game? I can't remember. Wow, guys, we've already went an hour. Crazy. I like the likes are definitely up today. We're already like almost 30. So let's get a few more likes up here before we start to wrap up the show. If there's anything else, we can hit on that real quick. Oh, the Texans. Cool. That's awesome. Thanks, Derpy. Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Sam Mason, do you think Wilson had better receivers in Denver than Pittsburgh has now? I don't know. Yeah, Cortland Sutton. I think GP's better than anybody they had in Denver. That's just my opinion. So as a whole, I don't know. I don't know their wide receiver room in depthly enough to make that comparison right now. I'd have to look at it and see what they had, but definitely probably comparable, you know. TYBD35 rugby and handball really good and fun to watch. Yeah, I'd watch it as long as it's not the Olympics, man. Anything that makes fun of Christianity in the way that they did, I can't support it. Man, I hate to talk politics, man, but your name is that like making fun of Donald Trump or something? Let's see the DK Metcalf trade soon. The Steelers, Wilson and DK in black and yellow could be big. Yeah, I said that I heard that DK Metcalf was a possibility. I said that a while ago to Sean, and it hasn't came true yet, so I was hoping that it did. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up here. No, it's just funny. Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I was just asking. I don't like to talk politics, but I was just asking. All right, guys, no biggie. We're going to wrap it up again. Thank you to Brian and George for donating like 10 memberships today. That was awesome. It's good to see them all get filled up really quickly. That was super cool. So thank you to you guys. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button before you leave. I truly appreciate it. We come at you every day with some form of content about your Pittsburgh Steelers, no doubt about it. Usually the live show is every day unless I get out of football practice late because I can't abandon my 8-9-year-old kids that are playing football. I got to wait that out. I just can't roll on them. So sometimes that happens, but it is what it is. So thank you guys again for always being understanding. This wraps up another great week, but watch out because we will be back. Camp is going on all weekend. So we will be back this weekend and we will have shows. I will post in the community tab whether we will have a live show or not, but there will be content considering camp is going on. I will have a reaction to Friday Night Lights tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that on the morning upload. And again, the Steelers will be off on Monday, and then starts game week, guys. We're ready to go. And the first preseason game quickly falls upon us here as the Pittsburgh Steelers embark on this 2024 journey, man, that I'm so super pumped about, man. I think you're probably not going to get the Ayuk one, bro. Brian, I'm excited for the first preseason game. How do you see them splitting time? Russ first quarter, Field second, Allen. I don't know how they'll do that. It's going to depend on Russell Wilson's health. You might not see Russell Wilson at all in that first preseason game. Yes, thanks, Sean. You too, buddy. Thomas, they did something like weird about the Last Supper with just a bunch of things that I just didn't agree with. I don't care what people do in their personal life. That's up to them. I don't bash anybody for it. I'm not the judge. I'm not the judge, jury, or executioner of anything, you know. We leave that all up to God. But I don't believe in mocking any religion in any way, shape, or form. And what they did there with that opening ceremony and the mocking of the Last Supper, I cannot get on board with. I think that it was absolutely atrocious. I think it was a horrible thing to do, a horrible idea. I think the Olympics now, in my eyes, I can't support that. I can't get on board. And also, guys, I will say this, and I don't talk politics and I don't talk social issues, but I do not agree with any person that is a biological male competing in women's sports. I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. I think it is an unfair advantage, and I think it takes away from these women that have worked their ass off their entire life to reach a point in which they are at the top of their game to compete at the ultimate level in their sport. And they are taken advantage of and made a mockery of by having a man go out there and beat their ass. I think it is ridiculous. And I can't support that. And I can support that in no way, shape, or form at any level. No biological male should compete with a woman. I don't believe in it. I think it's ridiculous. And that's just my opinion. I won't probably ever bring it up again, but I respect women too much to watch that happen without saying anything. Later, George. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you, buddy. G Stacks, Jason, I'd be listening to you in the morning on my way to work, and you are already in mid season. Thanks, G. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, 8671. If the F is up. Oh, what the F is up? Good to see you. You too, man. Sean, just keep politics and religion of our sports entertainment. It's that easy. No doubt. I agree, man. That's why I try not to ever bring it up on here. That's just one thing, though, guys, that I got to let you know my stance on. I don't believe in men and women's sports. I think that's crazy. And don't mock religions. Keep it out of the sports. And that goes for the Olympics, too. We watch sports, guys, to separate from things, you know? We watch sports to be entertained. We want to leave the political bullshit and everything else. We want rid of that. That's not what we go to sports for. I don't want to hear what an athlete's political stance is. I don't give a shit what you believe in. I want to be entertained, and we want to talk about the sport. We want to keep that pure. Don't bring in the other bullshit. We don't have very many outlets to where you can separate the bullshit of the outside world into, and go and get away from that. And sports is supposed to be something that you can do that with, you know? That's why I try to keep it out of here, man. I just want to have fun and talk our sports. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and do all that good shit. And again, appreciate for the double-digit memberships tonight. So that's pretty damn awesome. And until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.